Hello and welcome to another Team Primetime tutorial today. I'm Miss V and we will be using Tinkercad.com to create 3D models for printing. There are other programs you can use to 3D model, but Tinkercad is accessible to most people and great for the basics. Tinkercad is a free program. All you need is an email to make an account. When you open Tinkercad, you will see that you have a main page. It'll be blank for your first time. There's also a gallery where you can see other people's work, and you can also download other 3D prints, a blog that has ideas and contests from Tinkercad, and lesson modules. These lessons are great because they teach you how to use Tinkercad, so if you're having trouble remembering anything I teach you today, these are a great way to refresh and practice. There's also lessons for wiring, circuits, and coding. For now, let's click on Create New Design. When you open up your project, you'll see it has a generic name. Rename your project so you know what it is by clicking on it. Next, you'll notice the top and side toolbars. The right side has shapes. I click a square. In order to place it, you have to drag it around where you want it and click. Using the tools in the top toolbar, you can copy, duplicate, paste, and lots of other functions. Keyboard shortcuts also work, so Control-C is copy, and so on. In the toolbar are other buttons to help you zoom in and out and change your perspective view of the project. And the view cube. The view cube allows you to rotate your perspective by clicking on it. I put down a sphere and I'm going to modify it by dragging on the corners. You can also adjust and rotate the arched arrows. To resize and proportion, all you have to do is click on a corner or on the top white square, which controls height, and hold shift while dragging it at the same time. You can also click on a corner or arch and input values directly in the value box. There are lots of functions like changing your unit measurement and value sliders on some of the shapes to adjust further. After your sphere is adjusted, put down a cylinder and make it tall. Make it a whole shape. This can be adjusted when you click on the object. I align the project by dragging and select the objects and using the line tool. I then group the project so the whole takes its spot in the bowl without poking all the way through the sphere. I also need to make the bottom of the bowl flat, so I use a cube as a whole and move it down using the arrow above and drag it so it takes off a little of the bottom of the sphere and group it. Drag the new shape back down to 0 on the work plane so it's flush with it. I wanted to put my name on it, so I chose the text tool. As you can see, I use the text tool and type, but it shows up on the work plane. I want it on the bowl, so I use the work plane tool located on the right, and when I hover over the shape with the tool, you can see it conforms to the contour of it. I click where I want the words, and it changes the work plane. Now using the text tool, I'm able to type on that plane. To change it back, all you have to do is click the work plane tool, and then click on the blue outline bottom. You can also ungroup the pieces if you need to make changes. When you group multiple shapes, it changes the color, so I click on the multicolor option to retain the original colors. If you go into the different tabs in the shape area, you can see that there are different categories like characters, connectors, and feature shapes. I use bunny ears to create a bunny head, and I adjust and resize those. I also need something for the eyes, so I find something that will work called the pineapple shape, and I adjust it to create a little hammock that will work as little eyelashes so it looks like they're smiling or sleepy. I then adjust the shape further and put it onto the bunny shape. Once I have it in position, I like to create a duplicate of the shape and then use the mirror tool to flip it horizontally so it creates a matching eye. Next, I use the sphere to create a muzzle of the bunny by elongating it and rotating it and changing the color. For the nose, I find a shape called the parabolic cone and rotate it upside down to create a rounded triangle type of shape that has a bit of dimension. I group the bunny shape separately so that I can align the nose to the bunny without problems. Next, I realize I want to create the mouth but don't know what shape to use. If you can't find a shape that you like, you can use the scribble tool. The scribble tool allows you to create a freehand scribble that turns into a shape, which you can see in the preview. If you're going to create a shape with multiple parts, just make sure that it's all connected, because if not, it won't stay together when it's printed. Click done. I just drew a face because I wanted to put it inside of my bowl like an engraving. I realized that my bowl is too thin, so I bring the cylinder up and then I replace the face and change it into a hole and group it. Instead of drawing the mouth, I realized that I could probably use a W, but it's too pointy, so I use a 3. I take the text and make a 3, but realize that a 3 is not proportional on both sides, so I just take the box as a whole and cut off half of the 3, and then duplicate and mirror the new shape and connect the 2, so it creates a W-like shape, and group it. I then rotate and align the shape so it matches up with the nose. It's a bit too long at the top, so I cut it off a little bit with the square hole. I also realize I want the shape to be a bit flatter. A really easy workaround to create a contoured hole shape is by taking a square, making a hole in it, and then turning that shape into a hole, and aligning it so that it sits against the contour of the muzzle. Only select the mouth and the hole, and then group it. Then I adjust the ears and group it together. I add a sphere for the tail. Feel free to play around in Tinkercad and create your own 3D projects. In the next episode, I'll be showing you how to export your projects and how to prep a 3D printer for printing. This is Miss V. Have fun and keep being creative.